Hey guys, Mr. here back with another video. As you know, Ascension WoW Warcraft Reborn is almost 1 month old, which means many people have hit level 60, so I thought it is time for another round of tips and advice and give you guys a priority list. Since the last video did so well, I was so happy. You have no idea how much it means to me. Thank you so much for the support. I'm here to do just as good or even better. Please let me know your opinion of this video in the comments. It means a lot. I appreciate all the feedback and comments. With that out of the way, we can start talking about tips. Let's first talk about what's going on in the world. As you know, it is Halloween season, which means you're supposed to dress to the occasion and look as fashionable as you can. Okay, no kidding. Let's talk about what this means to you as a player. There are two important things to do in Halloween. The first one is do the daily quest by turning off the fires. You'd be like, where do I do the daily quest? He burns like the village right outside your starting zone. He shows up near the starting zones. Let's say you're human here. He shows up in Goldshire. Let's say you're an undead. He shows up in Brill. Let's say you are orcs. He shows up in Razor Hill. So yeah, for now, just use the two most famous zones, which are Razor Hill for Horde and Goldshire for Alliance. And what you have to do is go there, turn off the fires, and eventually, when there are no fire around, he will jump down and you'll kill him, and he drops down a quest item that you can turn in. And you turn it in and you get 7 gold. Do you know what 7 gold means? Free riding. And you can do this at any level. At any level. 7 gold is so important and helpful, especially if you're low level. You use the gold for training your spells, and use it for free riding. And you will still have spare gold, which is funny. So I thought of leaving that out there. It's really good. Not to mention, you can visit any inn in the world. It will have a pumpkin daily that you can it will give you candies, and some of these candies give you buffs. 2 of them give hit rating buff. The other one gives defense rating. The other one gives spell power. However, these are only available during the event of Hallow's End. The other important thing in Halloween is the Headless Horseman dungeon, which is a queue that shows up at level 60. And you can spam this dungeon, I heard, non-stop until you get the one thing that we're all after, which is the mount. By the way, you can find the loot table in World Events, Hallow's End. This is Atlas loot, by the way, and click on Headless Horseman. He drops a melee ring, a caster DPS ring, a healer ring, and he drops his sword and helm. By the way, I don't know about you, but I prefer the old helm to the new helm. Let me know which one you guys prefer in the comments. But yeah, back to the video. He drops the mount. I heard that you can spam it non-stop until you get the mount. Now, if you get the mount in the loot-filled pumpkin, please verify and confirm that in the comments. However, I myself went and did the dungeon 3 times, and I keep getting loot-filled pumpkins, and they keep giving me loot. So I suspect they will contain the mount at some point. I already have the HD version of the mount, so I don't feel like, grinding it out. I also have it in retail. But I think it will drop in the loot-filled pumpkins. So we can spam it. The Halloween event will remain until 31 of October, obviously. So keep spamming it until then, until you get the mount. And now, before I talk about level 60 and important stuff, I have 2 quality of life tips and advice for you. I am in Stormwind, right? You're gonna be like, why is it empty here? It is actually not empty. I am in instance 5. I can click and go back to instance 1. And voila. People are here. So many people were like, yo, how to fix the FPS lag in the capital city? Just swap the instances. I swap to instance 1 whenever I need a Mystic Enchantment Altar. There's not one right now, which you can just ask people to drop one here. I have my own vanity item that gives me a Mystic Enchantment Altar. I don't need that. So I just swap to other instances to avoid the lag. So there's that. Another quality of life tip I have for you is something I recently noticed. You can open the game menu, click on Help, Report a Bug, click on Recovery Services. You can actually open it from here without having to go to the Ethereal and talk to him, which is this guy. Yeah, you can open it anywhere in the world and recover items anywhere in the world. Now, this is helpful, especially during questing. You'll be like, what do you mean? I'll show you what I mean. Let's say I am a human, right? And I'm leveling in Westfall. One of the quests asks me to gather Murloc Eye, and I need it for the quest. Well, guess what? I've entered those, and I can just return them from here. This is especially helpful for speedrunners, right? Let's say I am in Loch Modan, right? one of the quests will ask me to get some bear meat. There you go. I can get it from here. So this is really helpful, and I thought of, you know, saying it because I'm not sure many people know this. So there's that. And now we can finally begin on what to do at level 60. At level 60, the first mistake I see people do is they buy gear. If you're buying gear, you're wasting your gold and you're making a huge mistake. Why? First of all, there's only heroic dungeons out. And like heroic dungeons, most of them offer better loot. So even then, I'm not focused on getting higher eye level than 60. What you should be focused on right now, like if you really wanna have eye level 60, just go do the Headless Horseman and do world bosses. If you do not know, world bosses are gonna release one by one. So far, Silithis world boss Ceres has released. You can go to Silithis obviously by flying through or walking, or you can use the teleporter here to Silithis. You'll have to pay 8 gold. If you don't know, this teleporter exists in many places, and it helps us. So yeah, there's that. Just land there and kill him. I don't know if he's up right now, but you can find his loot table in dungeons, from raids, world bosses. Unfortunately, it is not categorized to Ceres or the other world bosses here. Some of these are from the other ones, but you'll find some of his gear here, like the shifting sands. Anything with the word sand in it is from him, for sure, okay? So yeah, if you're so built on getting loot, go ahead and do your world boss, okay? And yeah, so do not focus on gearing, and I'm about to tell you what you should be focused on. You should be focused on maximizing your professions. You'll be like, why? Okay, first of all, professions make gold like the normal way they do, and they also make gold through the Coalboard Professions quest. We're about to talk about the Coalboard. The Coalboard gives you Coalboard caches and dailies. It has like content for all sorts of content. Like, they're so easy and straightforward. It will ask you, hey, can you go to Silithis and kill some Twilight cultists? Yep, kill some Twilight cultists and turn it in. It's a good source of Rune of Ascension and Coalboard cache. So I want you to save your Coalboard caches. All Ascension veterans save their Coalboard caches, and they open it on day 1 of raid release. Why? These Coalboard caches will give you normal raid gear. You heard that right, yes. Which means you can technically swap right away to heroic and not do normal with your guild, right? So please keep that in mind. I don't know if Ascension devs changed the system, but even then I'm gonna hold on to my Coalboard caches because there's no reason to open them right now. I can just get gear whenever I want. Gearing right now is not my priority, okay? My priority is professions. By the way, if you're asking how do I have 3 primary professions, that is because you can buy an item from players or from the shop called Trademan Scroll, and it unlocks an extra slot for your professions. It costs 25 DP, but you don't have to, you know, you can always have a group of friends you're grouped up with. So back to the professions point. The professions, there's a professions tab here. One of them asked me to do 30 silk bandages. And by the way, if you did not know, Coalboard dailies, you can spam them until it vanishes. Yes, they're repeatable. They stack up. Like the daily here, it asked me to turn in silk bandages. I kept turning in silk bandages until it vanished. And that's how I got my Coalboard caches. When it vanished, I had some spare. So what did I do with the spare silk bandages? I sold them on the auction house and they sold. They gave me so much gold. So this is really important. Please maximize your professions and do not focus on gearing right now. Right? So there's that. And like I said, do your dailies on the Coalboard. Do your dailies and save your Coalboard caches. Do the world bosses whenever they're up. And for now, let's also talk about one thing that I think most of us are doing right now and we should focus on, but I have to talk about it again, which is focus on finding your optimal build. What I mean by that, find the best talents, figure out which class and spec you want to play, and figure out which mystic enchantment are you gonna, figure out which build you're gonna use. So far, this is the tank build I'm gonna use for PvE content. Like, let's see, your successful blocks further reduce the damage you take from hit by 15%. Using shield wall resets the cooldown of shield block. This one gives me like huge tanking effect if I'm low health. I have Avatar as a second cooldown defense. I have Clip of Blocking, which is really strong. Each time I use my Shield Slam, I get 10% extra block. And I have Parry talent because I did not use it. I did not go for that talent. I go Anger Management to help with Rage. and these two just reduce the cooldown of my big defensives. So I think this is like the optimal protection warrior PvE raid content tanking. I think they're gonna be really strong. But yeah, I'm here to give you two other fun builds that I think most of you guys would love to play. So let's start with Wild Imps Warlock. By the way, this is both Demonology and Destruction build. So Hand of Gul'dan, I think this build is gonna get nerfed. Here's why. Hand of Gul'dan summons 4 Wild Imps, and then you can double that amount with Fell Domination. When you use Fell Domination, your next Hand of Gul'dan summons double the imps, so you get 8 Wild Imps. Imagine 5 Warlocks in your raid. They're gonna be melting that boss and generating a lot of threat, I think. So there's Fell Domination. There is Demonic Resistance. Dealing damage with Incinerate causes your lowest health imp to explode, dealing AoE damage, and giving a stacking damage buff to your Wild Imps, stacking 4 times. The duration of your Wild Imps is increased by 1 second per active stack. So yeah, you definitely want to grab this, and this, and this. Now, the third epic enchantment is a choice between two. Either Demonic Influence, while in Metamorphosis your demons, and this is for Demonology, obviously, the Demonology build. Or the other one I think you should use is Heretic of Gul'dan. Your Incinerate reduces the cooldown of Hand of Gul'dan by 1, and 2 seconds for crits. So damn, this build is full and optimal, and as for rares, I don't know what you can pick. Anything you like. The second build I think you should all be excited to play is Tentacle Shadow Priest. I'm a big sucker for Old Gods. I love Old Gods, they're my favorite villains in WoW. No, I do not have a tentacle fetish. Stop with that. Let's talk about this. Using Shadow Fiend summons 3 Old God tentacles. They will cast Mind Flay on your target. Summoning a tentacle of Old Gods increases your damage by 5%. This means Shadow Fiend is now a big cooldown for Shadow Priests. Not only that, like, I am really excited to play Cultist in Conquest of Azeroth. I'm gonna main a Cultist. And for now, this is my Cultist, okay? There's also your Legendary, dealing damage with your dot, has a chance to summon a tentacle. And then there's Void Herald Grasp, which is like a quick channel effect that deals damage. And each time it deals damage, the cooldown of Shadow Fiend is reduced by 10 seconds. So this is like 30 seconds cooldown reduction. And each tentacle of the Old God will get a damage increase. Now, as for the third and Mystic Enchantment, I haven't figured out which one it's gonna be. But I think you can go with Dark Focus. Dealing damage with Shadow Ward, Pain, or Mind Flay has a chance to cause your next Mind Blast to have no cooldown and cost no mana. So there's that. I don't know what other epic you can use, but for now that's the Tentacle build and Wild Imp build. I think these two builds are gonna get nerfed, but they're super fun. Ooh, that one. Increase your Shadow spell damage by 10. That could also be good, you know? Or you could type Mind Flay and experiment with what else should I use, you know? Yeah. So there's that. Focus on finding your optimal build, find the best talents, find the best Mystic Enchantments. Another thing if you want to do at level 60s is finish your attunement quests. You need attunements on Ascension, yes. However, you only need them once because they're realm-wide. They're gonna be accessed on the Vanity tab. Here you go. Sorry. Hang on. Filter. Seal of Ascension. Okay, this is the Upper Blackrock Spire attunement quest. You will have it here and you can send it to your character. There's also the do the Molten Core attunement, do the Blackwing Lair attunement, do those so you're ready on day 1 for raid. Okay? So yeah, let's recap what I've been talking so far. We talked about the Halloween event and free 7 gold, free gear, you know, literally free gear. We talked about 2 quality of life changes, that is the instances and recovery services. We talked about not to focus on gearing and focus on professions and cold dailies. We talked about focusing on getting the better Mystic Enchantments. We talked about getting your attunement quests and talking about world bosses. And what else should you do on level 60? You should be focused on finding your environment. You'll be like, what do you mean? Environment, find your friends, find a good guild that you will do content with. Find like the appropriate guild for your content. Either a PvP or a PvE guild, okay? You're gonna need those to do the content. Unless you're just a solo player, which, by the way, there is no such thing as a solo player in WoW. WoW is a team game, okay? So there's that. Speaking of gearing, by the way, we get a lot of Rune of Ascension. And if you really want an eye level and not do gearing, you can go talk to Nosdurmu. Click on General Goods. And he sells like a 3 cheap trinkets. Actually 4. 1 is for hit rating, 1 for attack power, 1 for crit, 1 for spell power. These are really cheap trinkets. I can grab them on any alt as soon as they're level 60, and he gives them. So they also have the PvE power. Speaking of Nosdurmu, many people are new to Ascension and do not know about the blood forging system. So what is blood forging? Blood Forging is for PvP. You buy from him the Bloody Jar, and it stays in your bag. Bloody Jar is converts blood-forged items, okay? Let me show you an example. So, a blood-forged item, we PvE players use this to trade gear and sell transmogs. As for PvP players, they use this to turn raid gear into PvP gear. Yes. Well, most of them want to use PvP gear. There are some really BIS items in raids, right? If you're a PvP player and want that sweet trinket, but it doesn't have PvP power, then you can just use Bloody Jar from Nosdurmu, okay? But I'm about here to make an example to you. This is Rug Spolders, okay? Bloodforged Rug Spolders. The fun thing about Blood Forging, if I equip it, it will still be tradable. I can sell this and equip it at the same time. By the way, it gives PvP power, but this one is really low level. So, can I sell this? Yes, you can. You can. So people, like I said, we use this as PvEers to sell gear and sell transmog. That's how I got my transmog early times. So there's the blood forging system. And what else is there to do in the game? I talked about what you can do at level 60s and priority list. Something I've been doing is obviously enjoy the game and earn an achievement hunting. If you saw my recent stream, I got Realm 1st Hardcore Gathazog, and I aim to do more of that. I'm gonna earn Realm 1st achievements for other modes, so you should be focused on getting that too. Like, a lot of people don't enjoy leveling. I'm one of them, but as soon as I started playing Ascension and playing game modes, leveling becomes the most fun thing to do. Especially with friends. You wanna know something really fun you could do? Find friends to play with and go ahead and try your luck at Boss Blitz. Kill all the dungeon bosses. Or you can try Holy Trinity. I call it Holy Threesome. Oh no, this no, this video is gonna get blacklisted. Yeah, you can. Holy Trinity is 3 players teaming up together and doing dungeons together. So there's that. There's also a duo. So yes, Pair in the Lair. There's a duo version called Pair in the Lair. There's also an Iron Man version called Iron Man. I think it was called yeah, Dungeon Delver. Yeah, there's a solo, trio, and duo, and there's a group one, which is the Boss Blitz one. See, so much fun things to do in Ascension. Again, I'm gonna repeat a tip I said from my previous video. Please stop focusing on the negative feedback. Stop looking at the negative stuff. The more you look at the negative stuff, the more you will lose interest and lose, like, I can still have fun, regardless of what people say. Okay? I can still have fun. So can you. Just stop looking at what people have to say about the game. Just go ahead and play it with your friends. You can still have fun regardless if it is pay to win or not. Speaking of pay to win, this is my last tip, and I decided to leave it for the last one because it sparks, controversy and drama. But let's talk about the shop, okay? If you are a guy who's thinking of spending, money on the game, okay? Sorry. Oh, if you're a girl as well. Sorry. If you're a person who wants to spend money on the game, the only good and worth it item to spend money on is one big thing. Like, this is the only thing that I think is a huge advantage, which is the Fel Enchanted War Chest. You wanna know what this is? What is included in this chest? Spammable 22 slot packs. I can keep delivering it non-stop and opening it and getting myself... I already have filled my bags with 22 slot packs. You can deliver this to your alt. The thing that it's 22 slots. Now the Jaina bag is 30, but what makes this better than the Jaina one is the fact that you can spam it. Let me show you my bag. Pitlord Satchel. By the way, Pitlord Satchel drops from Magdurden layer in TBC. So that's how I have it. I bought it when it was on sale. And yeah, this is the only item I think you should be focused on getting. What comes inside the chest? It comes with a pet. Comes with a mount. Comes with a tabard. Where is it? Comes with this tabard, Fel Infused Tabard of Ascension. It also comes with an extra Hearthstone that you can drop and people can use. And it doesn't share cooldown with your Hearthstone. So there's that. This is the only thing like, it only costs actually $15. Like, just go ahead and buy it. If not 15, it's 20 or 25, I'm not sure. But not more than that. That's the only thing you should buy, in my opinion. Wait for it on sale or buy it from other players, or like buy DP. You can grind gold. You can grind gold in the game and ask people, hey, can you buy me this and I'll pay you this gold? And they'll do it, right? So that's all I have for now. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know your opinion of the video in the comments down below. If anything was unclear, I will respond to you. Contact me on Discord, contact me on the comments. And yeah, so many of you drop these impossible tasks that I can't help with, but I still try my best to help you with, like the add-ons video and the handy notes video. So many people say the handy notes is not working. So many people have figured out that it has to do with LVUI and TomTom and other add-ons blocking it. So please switch off some add-ons until it works, okay? Or reinstall the add-on until it works. That's all, really. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.